Let's now dip into what Chitra has filed. A lot of people from her building also came out and she spoke with a lot of people. A lot of people, in fact, with children also stepped out because they could feel the tremors. And a lot of people from Chitra's building came down. Let's take a look at that report.
सोफा तक हिलने की आप लोगों को महसूस हुआ?
बहुत जल्द। तो फिर मैंने बोला ये भूकंप है, लेट्स गो आउट। देन फिर मैंने देखा कि ऊपर से भी जो है वो झूमर हिल रहा है और लाइट्स वगैरह फैन वगैरह। काफी लंबा ड्यूरेशन। फिर हम लोग 3 मिनट तक ड्यूरेशन रहा।
3 मिनट तक आप लोगों ने महसूस किया? 3 मिनट तक। मैम आपने क्या देखा, आप बताइए।
मैं बैठ के अपना मोबाइल देख रही थी, एकदम से मैं हिली। मेरे हस्बैंड पास बैठे हुए थे। मैं नोएडा DC2 1304 से मैं नीचे से आई हूँ। मैंने इनको बोला बेड हिल रहा है, बेड हिल रहा है। ये बोले मैं हिल रहा हूँ। बड़ी हंसी आई मुझे। फिर देखा तो पंखा हिल रहा था काफी। फिर बच्चे निकल के आए तो बोले कि नहीं बहुत तेज भूकंप है। हम सब एकदम घबरा गए और सब नीचे।
उसके बाद नीचे। मैम आपने थोड़ा सा इधर आइए कैमरा लेकर, पास में लेकर आइए, आवाज आए ताकि। हाँ, नोएडा में इस वक्त मेरी मौजूदगी है और 15 मिनट से ज्यादा का वक्त हो चुका है, लेकिन डर और दहशत का आलम यहाँ पर देखेंगे ऐसा है कि लोग अपने घरों में जाने को तैयार नहीं है। इन लोगों ने क्या महसूस किया है, आइए जरा पास में आइए, इन लोगों की आवाज सुनाते हैं। सर आपने क्या देखा?
मेरा नाम अनिल कुमार जैन है। मैं CC2 1401 में रहता हूँ। तो मेरा झूमर हिलना शुरू हो गया था।
हाँ,
झूमर हिला तो मैंने सोचा शायद हवा आ रही है, तो हवा का नहीं होगा। झूमर काफी देर तक हिलता रहा।
कौन से फ्लोर से नीचे आ रहे हैं?
14वें फ्लोर से।
14वें फ्लोर से सीढ़ी तक आ रही है?
सीढ़ियों से। लिफ्ट तो अवॉइड करते हैं, लिफ्ट अवॉइड करते हैं। सीढ़ियों से नीचे आए, पूरा परिवार आया।
झूमर हिलते हुए देखकर आपको अंदाजा हुआ?
काफी देर तक हिलता रहा।
काफी देर तक। सर आपने क्या महसूस किया?
मेरा नाम राजेश है। मैं 1702 में रहता हूँ, CC2 में। मैं बैठा बस सोफा पे था, सोफा ऐसे से हिलने लगा।
सोफा तक हिलने की आप लोगों को महसूस हुआ?
बहुत जल्द। तो फिर मैंने बोला ये भूकंप है, लेट्स गो आउट। देन फिर मैंने देखा कि ऊपर से भी जो है वो झूमर हिल रहा है और लाइट्स वगैरह फैन वगैरह। काफी लंबा ड्यूरेशन। फिर हम लोग 3 मिनट तक ड्यूरेशन रहा।
3 मिनट तक आप लोगों ने महसूस किया? 3 मिनट तक। मैम आपने क्या देखा, आप बताइए।
मैं बैठ के अपना मोबाइल देख रही थी, एकदम से मैं हिली। मेरे हस्बैंड पास बैठे हुए थे। मैं नोएडा।
My colleague Gaurav is now joining me from the newsroom. Gaurav, you were sitting at this very chair and you also felt the tremors. The water, the glass that was kept on the table started shaking. Was it really scary at that moment?
Well, it was very surprising, and it's a coincidence. While I was anchoring, twice in the past, tremors were felt, but perhaps not as intensive as this time. When we actually interrupted our broadcast, we were talking about the situation in Khalistan. We were talking about the situation, and some people trying to make Khalistan or the Punjab police efforts or what's happening in the United Kingdom and Canada. And suddenly tremors were felt. Even in the newsroom where I am right now, the drill was followed, except those who are working on the broadcast that time. Everyone else actually streamed out and then followed due process to get to a breakaway area away from the building. But once everything was all clear, everyone's back to the desk. But the information that we're getting from different parts of the National Capital Region is that the fire service is getting a number of calls. Those calls are being verified. There are reports of some damage to some structures, but what kind of damage, all of that assessment will take time. But there is a lot of fear, there is a lot of panic, and people are out of their homes, they're out in the open, and they would prefer the information that we are getting in, and not just from Delhi or NCR, but even from Jaipur and Dehradun and other parts of our country, especially the north. The information is people would prefer to be out of their houses for some time, figure out if there are no more aftershocks. They would prefer then to go back, Aishwarya.
Gaurav, as an expert, as someone who's been in who's seen all this, would your advice be to people to at least stay out for the next couple of minutes, for the next 15-20 minutes, just to wait and see whether there are more shocks, and then only would you ask people to go back?
We are speaking to a number of experts. It's always better to be safe than sorry, but we are still waiting to hear from experts. Those who are inside their homes at least must have some idea of what they need to do, and that is why these These drills are very important. Earthquake drills, fire drills, they are very, very essential. They must not only be done, there must also be refresher courses, because sometimes, you know, these incidents are so infrequent that people forget drills, people forget what is known in military parlance as standard operating procedure. It should actually be your second nature. In case there's an earthquake, what is it that you need to do? Assess how bad are the tremors. Would you? Is it immediately that you need to get under a table or get under an area where there are two concrete reinforced beams meeting, because that area is relatively safer compared to other areas? Or if it's advisable to get out of your house immediately, and when you get out of your house, you must be adequately clad. It could be cold outside depending on what part of the country are people living in. But this is one lesson from Turkey, where it was biting cold, and some people who managed to come out of their houses but not adequately clad, you know, they felt the sub-zero temperatures, and that is why, if possible, come out with whatever you can, including some money, something to eat, and then be out for as much time as is advised, whether by your society, whether by experts in your area, maybe the police, and then when it's safer, you can get back home. Aishwarya.